FBA, and then
Oh, I
like it
apologize.
just
Okay.
went around.
Yeah, because
But
I got
but
asked
to
a lot
answer
of
your
questions
question, I
by a
think
lot of people at
well,
one time.
yeah, but Ghost of FBA says still stands though. Really, if we can't go over there and get citizenship in that particular nation or land,
But you
then we
can't,
should
you
expect.
can't, you can't. I just
No, I
said
said
to
the
you that
particular. No,
two
listen,
countries.
brother. I know that, brother. You have the Gambia. I know about that. You have Sierra Leone, Liberia, etc.
Okay,
I'm speaking about the countries that don't offer African American citizenship and
okay.
land. My point is, if we end up there and they are not offering us any tangible, such as citizenship or land, you should expect those African Americans to remain loyal to the U.S. government that they came from. Really.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean, if I noticed. To be honest with you, I think this is not a new movement from the Sierra Leone, Liberia, like for example, Sierra Leone, Guinea Coast, the Senegambia region. It's not a new thing. This movement been going on for a long time. That's because our previous leaders that we had in these countries were always stand on a pan-African ground, and also, based on their history against colonials. So, it's not a surprise offering citizenship to blacks in the diaspora than so say the country like Nigeria, Cameroon, and other countries if you go further down. And it's quite shocking really because they should be this country that represent the black nation per se than people of the Senegambia region.
Al, Al, can I add
Oh,
this?
could I ask that question?
Can I
Okay,
add
go
this?
ahead. Go ahead.
Can I add this, please? Nigeria, I think in the year 2022, also gave
Mm,
citizenship to some black African Americans. See,
mm,
actually, from the report, it was like they applied. You need to apply, and they will give you the citizenship.
mm.
So,
Right.
God, really, we need to understand something, like you're saying, and that's my point, and that's what's his name, two Niger's point. Instead of fighting
Okay.
ourselves, we need to come together. If we push
Yes.
inwards, if we push
That's
inwards,
right.
this kind of question, we push inwards, and it gets to probably our representatives in the house, and they can maybe push more to get these windows opened more for more African Americans that feel they want to relocate and come and stay with us. But the truth of the matter is this: I
Absolutely.
want to tell you something today, and to every African American that is listening to me. If you enter Nigeria today and you live in Nigeria, I'm telling you, you would not know the difference. Nobody will treat you any different than the others. That is one thing I want you to know.
that's facts. I've been there.
That's fact.
I know. I believe that. I believe
They would not treat you any different than others. That is one thing I know about my country. In fact, they will be willing to do almost everything for you because they feel you are not, you've not been here for a while. So that is just it. So let's come together and talk reasonably on how to move forward.
Yes, sir.
So if that's the case, why do you have
I
so
agree.
many opportunists and scammers within that country trying to sell pipe dreams?
Bro, that's you just said it in your own words.
Yeah,
Opportunists and
brother.
scammers, bro.
you're going to have that.
Yeah, why are
Man,
we? Why do
this
we
guy's
need
an
this Pan
apple.
African
This
pro
guy's an
black
apple. He
Hold
just
on,
nonsense?
made
Red
It
Eater,
another
Red
never
Eater.
another
worked.
Hold
stupid
on, Red
thing.
Eater. We
It
building right
never
now, Red Eater.
worked.
He
Bro,
does.
like
We
you
building,
just
Red
said it in
Eater.
your own words. Opportunist, which means if I get the opportunity, I'm going to rob you. Opportunists and scammers, which means that if I get the opportunity, I'm going to scam you. It's like
Yeah,
I
he dropped them, brother. But goes to FBI. I think the point that we have to highlight is it's not the Africans in Africa that most African Americans are receiving opposition from. It's the African immigrants in the U.S. that are oppositional. Not all, but many of
that
them
is
are
true. That is
oppositional to
very
the
true.
African Americans. Because
That is
once again,
very
I just
true.
got back from. I was in Cameroon in June. This is a fact. I say it all the time. Matter of fact, and when I say they welcome me and his family, it's the truth. So I can't get on here in this panel and lie and say fuck Africans. I would never say that. It's not true. I don't feel that way.
Good. I hope not, because that's not good. It's not good for our own image. It's not gonna be good for
Exactly.
your own image. If
Exactly.
Africa, remember this, anytime Africa struggle, the entire black race will struggle. This is how these people treat us. Yeah, it's the our powers lies in Africa. It's been treated like a joke. When Trump came and he called Africa a shithole country, what followed after that?
because the issue with Africa is that we're not united. Even Nigeria's too tribal. In
They're
Nigeria,
not
we're not
united.
united.
That's the problem with Africa. Africa is not united. That's the reason why sometimes I feel like we need a new breed of Africans to come in and get rid of all these old fools, yeah, that there and actually put the people together. We need
But
to, in
AI,
fact,
I mean, but see,
yeah.
and I apologize for interrupting, but actually, and I want to refute what you just said. Our power as Afro diasporans could be in Africa, but right now is debatable, brother. I have to be honest because of what you just said.
No,
These nations are plagued with tribalism. They are being neo-colonized.
it is. Yeah, no, I mean the tribalism is our weakness, and also the religious divide that comes in the recent times, kind of make that even worse in some kind of way. But however, it's a work in progress. Development can change, people mindset also, right? So, most of the
Yeah,
reason why we're suffering like this lack of development, I
sorry,
think.
sorry. Can I
Yes,
say
and the tribal is
can
a
I,
big issue going on.
can I say something? See, no matter how tribal it is in Africa, I want to state a fact here. No matter how tribal it is in Africa, every African has equal opportunity to survive, to succeed, to excel. For instance, let me give you an example of Nigeria. Now, for instance, Nigeria has over 700 languages, over 300 tribes or so. Now, uh, and 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 of all the major tribes, Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo says they are marginalized. Let's assume now, and this thing looks like a tribal issue. But when you actually come to the street of Lagos, and most Igbos don't even stay at home. If Nigeria was that tribal, they wouldn't be living in other locations more than they live at home. But when they get to that place,
I'm a Fulani from
Let him
Sierra
complete
Leone.
it.
sorry,
Let
let
him make that point.
let
Let
me
him make that point. He's
My
making a good point.
bad. I apologize.
let me land. So now you now notice an Igbo man has a shop next to a Yoruba man. An Igbo man is a landlord to a Yoruba man in a Yoruba land. They sell land to them. They sell everything to them. They have equal opportunities. It's not like you can't talk. You can express yourself. You understand? It's different from what the Black African American faces in I say America, for instance. You understand? If you have a case against a white man, you know from the point of the police interference, already there's a bias, even the way the police will treat it. So, but what we have here in Nigeria is not that case. The issue of tribalism comes with the sharing of power. And when it comes with the sharing of power, I would say that is largely to the fact that the way we play politics different. Is different.
So what you're spewing is communism. You do know that, right?
No. What I'm trying
That
to
is
say,
communism.
do you
Brother,
understand what
you
I'm saying?
derailing them. No, he wasn't talking about communism, brother. Please.
Yeah, that is.
No. You don't.
He's gonna keep on doing this. Every time he
What
gets in, he's gonna
Doing
interrupt
what,
somebody.
nigga? I'm just asking simple questions, and
I'm not talking about communism. Here in Nigeria, for instance, the Igbo man is given equal rights as a Yoruba man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When it comes to the political stage, the way they play the politics. Now, when they now play the politics, even after playing all the politics, all tribes are still well represented in power. You understand what I'm trying to say? All tribes are well represented. In the House of Assembly, all tribes are well represented. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the main issue is that, we've not had an Igbo president. And that is what is causing all this hula baloo that you have these days.
Good luck. Jonathan was an Igbo guy.
Exactly, but no, when the Igbos want to see it, they see it like, okay, Goodluck Jonathan was not exactly Igbo. because he's from the south. They want a southeastern person. But if you look at our history, we've had Igbos holding the topmost power, the topmost point of power in Nigeria. You understand what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say now is, but when you come to the floor shop of it, come to the markets, come to schools, you understand what I'm trying to say? It's even as good as
You see, Ali, what the guy's saying is wrong. You know, the Igbos are feeling the same thing black men are facing in America. We're similar. The Igbos and black men are similar. Do you know what I'm saying? That the Igbos
no,
are easily targeted in Nigeria. That's a fact. We can't deny that.
no. That is a very wrong notion. And that is what we are saying. That is the notion that an average Igbo man that is sentimental about these things will push out.
Because it's the
This-
truth. I'm not lying. It's the truth.
Calm down. Let me explain to you.
Can I ask you one thing, Yulan?
Listen, let me explain to you before you ask your question. The first prime minister, the first president or prime minister of Nigeria was Igbo. Okay? Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nobody went against him. Then nobody. The first military head was Igbo. You understand? Nobody went against him then. You understand what I'm trying to say? But as the time went on, there was something that happened along the line, and that was the war. And it became a matter of distrust between the North and the East. The North did not trust the East because they know because of what happened to them, if we give power to these people, they might succeed or they might get back at us. So now it became a power play, but it started going down. It was fizzling out. Now the East and the North, most times the East give the North their votes, while it is only the West that shares it around equally, whichever way splits it. But the problem in this particular election that divided us is somebody divided this nation because of his greed. And the person is not an Igbo man. The person is actually the Hausa man that came out, or the Fulani man that came out in this election. And let me state it: we've had an unwritten law of zoning.
What was his name?
Abubakar Atiku Abubakar. We have an unwritten law. We have this zoning issue. Once they not have it for 8 years, it comes back to the South. Do you understand? Now, the North has done 8 years. Now, this thing should come back to the South. Now, when coming back to the South, there are 2 or 3 major tribes in the South that will have presented the president, and the North will have voted the way they wanted to vote, and everybody will have just said, who's the winner? But this man insisted that he was still going to go for the president after a Northerner had done 8 years. So this man created the divide in the party that should be the major opposition party. So now the Igbo man that finally came out under another platform was in that party and was vying for presidency there. But when he saw that this Fulani man was not going to step down, was not going to give that opportunity to him, he left and created another party. So it was not an election of all the regions and all the zones presenting a candidate. You now see where it divided us. But if it was the man stepping down.
Can I come in?
Okay, come in.
Yeah. First of all, I'm a Fulani from Sierra Leone, right? And I follow West African politics in general, and grew up with my best friend. Yeah, is a Yoruba guy. I speak to him. We work for the government in Sierra Leone. He's born there. We have Yorubas, and also we did settle some Igbo people in Sierra Leone as well. That's us, my ancestors. So we don't have anyone. See me as a Fulani guy. One of my best friend here is the Igbo guy. Yeah, I don't have any problem. People from other tribe. In fact, I love to see people from other tribe, especially West African. They're my people. All Niger Congo people are one people, and we shouldn't be discriminating. Or in fact, there's a large Igbo, Fulani, Yoruba, Mandinka, and the Hausa You know, we've been dominating West Africa for years, bro. You know, we don't never think about the other tribes that beneath us, right? We don't. You know, it's all about our tribe. Remember this. Go back to history, bro. These tribes that I just mentioned have dominated the region for years. We ruled on other tribes. You know, the money, the politics, the administration, and so on. We've been running it. Yeah, you know, we shouldn't be complaining. Yeah, it's actually not good. We shouldn't be complaining that much. And when you think about when you go back to Nigerian politics, the APC government that was led by Buhari, when they was actually doing the party convention, you know, trying to choose a leader. I remember because I was watching it. Buhari said, I don't want to turn this to Nigerian politics, but Buhari said he knows someone that he wants to succeed, but if he tell people, you know, that person will be gone, right? And I know for a fact, yeah, that person was someone from this. It was two people, was Lawal and Osibanjo. Yeah, and the guy that he wanted to be vice was that guy there's a guy called Umahi there, and I think that's one of Buhari's favorite government, and he was an Igbo guy, and I think he's the best performing governor in Nigeria based on what I see. However, throughout the campaign, and I saw this Peter Obi guy, I did not like him because of the Igbo guy. Yeah, I wanted him to succeed because I think he's young. He's energetic. That's what I said from the beginning when I came into want young, new, you know, phases in the continent. These old people need to go, right? So, and based on what he was doing and his campaign style, a part of some of his supporters were a bit off-putting, but put that aside, his policies were quite good. And if you remember, it's actually Atiku. Atiku is a Hausa Fulani, by the way. Yeah, is it? And it's not Fulani guy only. And Atiku is the one that brought Tinubu to politics. He's the one that brought Peter Obi to politics. He's the one that actually was the vice president of Obasanjo. If you notice, obviously he's got his own history. Yeah, but let me just finish. Come, let me finish. Come, let me finish. Let me finish. No, you see, you like to interrupt. You like to interrupt. Let me finish. You can come. So basically, let me just finish. Let me just finish. However, yeah, my cousin is from North Nigeria. He's member of the APC. Yeah, and he basically what happened is like a godfather in the north. He is known. Yeah, he's a known guy in the northern Nigerian region. There's nowhere in the northern Nigeria you go that people don't know this guy. You know, and he because of his links he got in the north, and also there's a guy called Jibril. Jibril is a northern guy. He actually with Kwankwaso now in the NNPC. He's the one that brought to the Fulani governors in the north and say, listen, this is the guy that should be, because these guys are lobbyists in the north. This is how they work, they're lobbyists and the groups. And also when she got the couple of emirs in the north on your side, which Tinubu already got, and he got a couple of areas and like few of the northern governor, he already got the southwest, you know, a part of Lagos. I knew he was going to win the election. Yeah. So this is how election is won in a democratic country. Yeah. We should you know, look at things, yeah, in terms of fact, not emotions. Yeah. Elections are won in the polls, not online. So we should start looking at, you know, politics from the grassroots level.
Ali, let me say something. See, like the one guys want you're supposed to be more empowered than the Igbo. And into history, in
the Yorubas are very connected to the Fulani people. I can tell you that. The reason why that is, that goes back to the Mali Empire days, you know. So they are very connected, and just with the Hausa, the Hausa and the Fulani being intermarried centuries. So just forget about that bit.
I want to say because this guy just said that they don't understand things. Let me tell the truth. Yoruba are bashing your book from that 1976 to 97. Yoruba man, not Yoruba man. Adult 1992, not Yoruba man. 1999. Sagi, you're not Yoruba 1992. So I don't know what you guys are saying. Yoruba be more power than Igbo. You see, I hear people say this. History doesn't lie. Not Yoruba man. 2015 to 2013. You see?
Sorry, can you repeat what you're saying? What are you saying? I don't get
I'm
what.
saying history here because this guy just said that the Igbo have been more power than Yoruba. That's a lie.
Actually,
No, I did
you
not
have.
say that.
No, not you.
No,
Not
no,
you. The other
no.
guy.
The I didn't say Igbo has been
No,
in more
you make sure you point the right finger to the right person because I just spoke.
I-
So who was
No,
that?
not even you. I mean the other guy.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
let me state what I said. What I said was the Igbo says that the Igbo claim that they have been marginalized. But if you go back to history, they've also had points when they held the topmost point of power. And I stated the first
And they
president,
fumbled it.
the first one, and I also stated the first military person. Okay. And I now came down to say in this election, what created the problem was we have a north-south situation, and we always do. The north does it for 8 years. It comes back to the south, and when it comes back to the south, we don't choose it's going to be Igbo or Hausa or from the south or Yoruba. Everybody presents his candidate. The person with the highest vote wins. You understand? But now in this election, what divided us was not because an Igbo man came out. I would have voted for an Igbo man. It was because somebody was greedy. And who was greedy? The Northerners. This person, you've had a presidency for 8 years. See, if you go back and check Nigerian history, if it is Southerner, it is only Southerners coming out for presidency. If it is Northerners,
But
we
you
are only
shouldn't have that. You shouldn't have that sort of system if you want to
Okay,
move
I got a
on.
question. What does all of this got to do with the topic at hand? Stay
No,
away from AKATA and the battle between Africans and Black Americans. What that got to do with anything?
I'm saying
You should have the most competent. You should have the most competent person. You should have the most competent person running the
Sorry.
country, not based on their region or their tribe. You know.
No,
that
no, no.
is change.
You
I
don't
want to
understand.
get back to the subject at hand because somebody on the panel said, in
Please,
their own words, that black people are acting like white people, being condescending. Isn't that called projection because Africans refuse to pay for their ancestors' crimes?
Please, nobody should reply this guy.
No, why are y'all Pan-Africans afraid of addressing what I asked you?
My ancestors.
Why are y'all afraid of answering questions?
My ancestors already paid you. I'm answering the question. My ancestors already paid you. We gave you a land in West Africa on the coast, yeah, well developed for you to have. And you remember the war in Liberia? Did you remember the Liberian War? Yeah, the Liberian War. African Americans who returned to Africa, yeah, and actually that was given land by Africans, our ancestors, who turned around and actually trying to enslave the native
Actually,
Africans.
white people bought that land from Africans. And they told black Americans to immigrate to Africa.
American, if you ask me, I'll do all my best to help African American or do not stop.
Do you not know the history of Liberia, bro? Because the reason why Liberia was started in the first place was to kick out American Indians and to go build a black ethno state elsewhere. So they chose, hold on. They chose Sierra Leone. Britain established Sierra Leone, and the United States bought Liberia. And also they had land in New Grenada, which is in the Caribbean. So they gave the American Indian the option of leaving America and going to a Caribbean island or relocating to a black ethno state of their choice in Africa.
That's a lie. That's
How is it it was started by the American Colonization Society?
Can you mute him for a minute, please? Can you mute him for a minute? Yeah, Liberia was have you heard about the Union War in America, the Lincoln War? Yeah, when Lincoln wanted to unite America with the North and the South. Have you heard of that?
Lincoln didn't want to send black people to Africa. He wanted them to move to Caribbean.
Just finished. The black slaves that fought in the Union War that unite America, yeah, were the ones that were given the choice, if they return them to the ancestral home if they wish. Yeah, those that chose to jump back to Africa, yeah, to Liberia, where the Liberians that you see today, yeah, and they obviously this capital city Monrovia was built by the guy that actually repatriated them at the time. Yeah, they named Monroe, the Monrovia after him. So do not come here and spew like. And Sierra Leone was also built by the British. The English keep America under their colony, but when they failed, this black slave that fought with the British were brought back to London around the 17th century, and then they was sent back. They was obviously repatriated by their own choice to Freetown, and they named Freetown after them. And at the same time, they brought a lot of slaves back from Virginia to Sierra Leone and other in Canada and other Caribbean islands, including America. Yeah, so don't come here and make up stories, bro. And
making up stories. Okay, who's the captain that sent niggas over there? What was he? Paul Cuppy. What is Paul Cuppy? What is Paul Cuppy? What is he?
Don't come here and lies because you're not qualified.
What is Paul Cuppy?
I wouldn't even honor. Let me say this. I wouldn't even honor this guy that just bought it, and he's an Indian. He
okay, that's what I am, Big Black. Are you in Africa? No, you're not. Are you moving to Africa anytime soon? Are you denouncing your American citizenship? Are you denouncing your American citizenship live in 4K?
He's not only against y'all, he's against African Americans that know that they have ancestors.
So what is an African American, Big Black?
That's what I'm saying.
What is an African American?
He's banned against. He's banned from Pan African channels from the West. So
I don't care if I'm banned. Pan Africans are scared of me. I question all your ideology. So did Marcus Garvey? Did he ever go back to Africa? Did Marcus Garvey ever go back to Africa?
You guys gotta understand. The more we come together, the more his movement weakens.
Actually, your movement is just a pipe dream. Did you go? Well, hold on, wait a minute. Because if it's strong, why aren't you building anything in Africa?
What?
Why aren't you building anything in Africa? Why aren't you there? Why aren't you there? Where's the resources? Where's the tangibles? Where's the tangibles? All you talking about is unity, but you ain't bringing nothing to the table.
You're not making no sense.
All you got is scams, bro.
You're not making sense. You're not making any sense.
All you got is 50 years of these scams to sell black Americans.
African ancestry. Yes or no?
You need to make this.
He's going to deny African ancestry, so why is he even here?
Oh, by the way, are you a Bantu? Are they aboriginal to the continent of Africa? Because according to science and according to Bantu West African oral history, they say that they're Asiatic backtrackers. So why don't you claim Asia as your homeland? You got the Igbo saying that they come from India. Why don't you claim India?
Please, can we ignore this guy?
You got the Mandinka of Kabul claiming that they are from Yemen, Saudi Arabia.
No, Saint the stage screaming his head off.
Can we ignore him?
I don't know if people find
so are you aboriginal to Africa, Big Black?
The Middle East during Mesopotamia, the Middle East where you call Saudi Arabia all the way to Syria, they were Africans that live in this. They were the first race on this planet.
How can they be Africans if they're Asiatics?
No, but no, it doesn't. No, you're not getting. You're not making. You're not listening. You're not here to learn. So what you're here to, you're just here to destruct. Because that's what you do. That's what.
No, I'm not. It's asking you simple questions. It's simple questions. You're not aboriginal to Africa if you're coming from Asia.
Can we at least? Can we ignore this guy?
So how can you browbeat somebody about self-hating something if you're not even aboriginal to that continent?
Yeah, I got Fula and Mandinka on my mom's side. Yeah, but listen to me. We're Niger Congo people. Yeah, we don't come from that part of the world. All our genetic testing, all the genetical history prove that also. Yeah, we are not from that part of the world. We're Niger Congo people. So I don't know what you're talking about.
So what
So
is
you
a
just
Niger Congoid?
we're
If
not
those
Bantu.
land masses didn't exist in the Paleolithic era.
We're not Bantu. Not all Africans are Bantu. Bantu is mainly from southern Cameroon all the way down to Kenya
Bantus
and
are applied to West Central Africans.
Central Africa, all the way down to South Africa.
West and Central Africans.
Yeah, we do have Bantu in us, but we're not Bantu. Not all West Africans are not Bantu. No,
then
all
why are you
Africans are Bantu.
scientifically labeled as such and politically?
Please, can we ignore this guy? You know why? You know why?
I'm with you.
He doesn't even remember what he says. He doesn't remember what he says.
I remember everything I say.
You let me tell you why you don't remember. You
so
asked
why
the question.
Are you afraid of answering my questions?
Let me tell you why you don't remember. You asked the question, claiming you were claiming
are
that
Bantus aboriginal to Africa? Yes or no?
Brother,
well, some Bantu think they came from Middle East.
Are Bantus aboriginal to Africa? Yes or no?
Some Bantu think they came from Middle East. But if that's what they think, that's still it.
You cannot have a conversation with this guy. This guy is just
so are Bantus Asiatic aboriginals?
Allow other people.
So what if Bantu are Afro-Asiatic? I don't know.
What's Afro-Asiatic?
I don't know.
Hold on, wait a minute. Isn't Europe, Africa, and Asia one big supercontinent?
No, you're stupid.
Used to be.
How am I stupid? There's no water dividing Europe and Asia from Africa. There's literally no body of water that separates Africa from Europe and Asia.
Cartage.
Landmass.
Aren't there Aboriginal black people outside of Africa that's native to Asia and the South Pacific? Why do you just limit yourself to just Africa?
What does it matter?
It does matter because the black man's original man, yes.
He wants to lay claim that African Americans have never came from.
I think you're basically okay. Well,
hold on, wait a minute, because science is coming out that American Indians did not migrate from Africa. Science is challenging the out of Africa theory.
What's your point?
There's multi-regional theory. They found Paleo-Indian bones that does not trace back to Africa. You got the Kennewick man. You got the Naya skull. You got the Anzic boy.
Everything you said was correct. Let's say everything you said was
correct. You got the Lucia skull. So how do you explain these new sciences that's coming out that's questioning the out of Africa theory?
He was way off topic. You're way off topic. The topic you're talking about
actually is all the same topic, nigga. You're saying that we celebrate Africa, but yet science doesn't agree with that.
You always
science does not agree that all humans started in Africa, so why do we need to limit ourselves to Africa?
Nobody, we from Africa, man. African Americans are from Africa.
How are you from Africa? Explain.
You're from Africa.
What part?
I got a grandmother that can tell
you do know that Africa. You do know that the name Africa is a Latin word, right?
My grandmother knows. When she first came on shore.
Oh, she know where she from in West Central Africa?
Can you allow that?
Did you do the genealogy on that big black? Did you do it?
Talking about?
Can you allow that?
Yeah, the genealogy. Did you? I brought on a brother that traces. Hold on, wait a minute. I brought on real rap who traces ancestors to a specific African tribe. But most Pan-Africans can't do that.
What's the next step after you say we all say that we're Indians?
Can we allow
I didn't say we all from American Indians. I'm saying that isn't the black man the original man? Yes. Why do you need to limit yourself to just Africa and not claim the entire world?
Can you allow other people to speak, please? Can you allow other people to speak? Okay.
Thank you.
Can we allow other people to speak? Thank you.
Okay, so on that note, so what I'm gonna say is, go back to the point, exactly what I was saying. Some people in our community are just there to divide, to create that wedge, and we don't need that. We need to stop this.
Yet those same people within the community use that unity shit to as an opportunist scam.
Bro, can't you just keep quiet
Do you
for
not
just
do you not
2
have
minutes?
individuals that's talking that Pan-African back to Africa stuff, scamming the people like Marcus Garvey, Umar Johnson?
He's talking about you.
Let's have some quiet for 2 minutes.
Don't you have people within the continent of Africa scamming black people with Pan-Africanism?
Every time you get on, you mess up the
Like
conversation.
Akon and Dr. Ericana.
Can you talk, bro?
You know what? Let's run this thing up this way. You are the only one that believes that people that are in the Americas are not from Africa. Then let's accept that your lineage are not from Africa.
It's
No
not just
problem.
me. It's
Then you
not
should
just
not be
me.
on
It's
this. You
also the
should
scientists that's bringing up
not be on this
skulls.
platform.
They're
You
bringing
should
up
not
skulls
be.
and
Leave the
archaeology that
platform,
debunks the out of
please.
Africa theory.
Leave the platform for those people
And
that believe.
it's
Let us talk
writing,
together.
there's books, there's art, there's maps that just prove that all black people came from Africa.
What does it matter?
Bro,
It does
doesn't
matter
concern
because
us.
we don't
Why?
need to damn come together under a pan-African ideology, but rather a pan-global ideology
Hey,
for
You're
melanin
very cute. Like, it's
skinned
not
Nobody's
just
people.
nobody's forcing
Why
you to be
y'all
under
so
Pan-Africa.
against being? Why are y'all so against the term original man?
I heard your point.
original
I
man.
heard your
Then talk shit.
okay.
Just answer the question. Why are y'all so against the title
Can you please
being
okay,
the original man?
Bro,
Why do you want to
forget
hold on to a
it.
Latin term
Forget it. We are
that's
not
not even
forcing you.
used?
Yeah, and
Hold on,
Bro,
wait, bro.
Nobody is
Wait.
forcing you to
But
join
that's the thing.
Pan-Africanism.
So
So
what
since you
are
are
the
not
West
from Africa,
African words for their
leave us
continent?
alone. Can
What
you
was
leave
the
us alone?
African word? What was the West Central African word that they described their continent?
I get why Kazo's bringing them on. He's bringing them on to say, "Hey, look, there's African Americans that don't claim the African." I get it. We get it, Kazo. Can you kick them off?
No, because you need those
Exactly.
words. Why are you
We get
afraid
it.
of answering questions given to you that makes your ideology a farce?
I have answered your question. That yes, us human race,
is not
us human race. Most of the stuff in Africa started in the east of Africa. Yeah, where you have Ethiopia all the way down to Tanzania, that part of the world. Yeah, that's where everything started. Of course, our genes. No, but let me just finish. You ask a question. Can I answer? Can I respond to your question? Is that right?
You claim that the world came from out of the vagina of an ape.
Can I respond to your question? Okay. Thank you. So our gene pool started in that area. Then obviously, the black race itself, was concentrated around that part of the world. Where Ethiopia is, the Middle East, and to probably probably all the way near Chad to that part of the to that region. If you have to put
so how do you explain people like the Kennewick Man, the Australoid Aboriginals of the Pacific Island, and humans that did not emerge from Africa who are black, but you're in denial of those groups?
You said earlier. No. 1 second. He said earlier, that Africa was joining Europe and Asia, before this land split.
It's one big supercontinent.
Exactly. How can he be so dumb and ask me this second question that you just did?
How is it dumb? I'm asking you a question, bro.
You have answered the
How did the black race emerge in Africa when you had? Hold on, wait. You got biodiversity, right? Does the American red wolf descend from the Ethiopian red wolf? Does galliforms like the guinea fowl and the turkey come from Africa?
Goodbye, everyone. I might come back when this guy leaves because we won't have a conversation with him.
See, y'all scared of science? Why are y'all afraid of science?
No one is scared of science. You
are. So does the American red wolf descend from the Ethiopian red wolf?
Are you listening? you said earlier the three continent was right. So and at the same time you said how comes melanated people end up in different parts of the world, and I'm saying to you is how can you already answered the question before you even ask the question, and you actually still blabbing. You're not making sense. And to be honest with you, I think you're here to interrupt and trying to disrupt the Pan African movement. And
Because
I
the
don't know.
Pan African movement is a joke.
That's
It's a
fine.
joke, bro.
That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion. It's fact.
That's your opinion.
It sprang off of white supremacy, yes or no?
That's your opinion.
White supremacy wasn't a thing before colonization.
It is, yeah. If you notice, you have driven everybody
White
out of this
supremacy is only a recent thing.
You have run everyone out of this platform.
Yeah, because your ideology is a joke.
No, because your ideology is a joke. It's to divide.
How's my ideology a joke? Explain. What is my ideology?
You're seeking to divide, not to unite. And at the same time,
yeah, and that's the real world because Africans don't want unity. Hold on, dude. Does Africa have this unity in its own continent? Why do you go by Nilots? Why do you go by Hamite, Capoid, racial taxonomy definitions to describe yourself and segregate each other and cause xenophobia and division amongst yourselves?
You know what they say? You can never educate the pork. On that note, pork.
Oh, wait a minute, bro. You can't educate me nonetheless. You haven't even thought of something like this.
On that note,
I'll let somebody that question your ideology.
Can I hear his view?
That's all you know. That's all you know. That's all you can do. Yeah, is to talk, spew hate and false information.
How am I spewing hate? Who am I hating in Africa?
Can I hear his view, please? Can I hear his view, please?
Yeah.
Can I hear his view? What is his solution? What is his view of what do you see the problem as, and what do you think the solution is? I'd like to listen to what you have to say rather than questions.
But you said a lot, so I will leave you to let you carry on. Take care, man. All right.
Yes, please tell me what you see the problem is and what you think is a solution.
My problem is like with Pan-Africanism, it has become a joke. Like we had this ideology for centuries now, right? Where are the tangibles? What do Pan-Africanism bring to the table besides people doing 10 to 9 hour lives a day and talk about unity when it's just monetary and opportunism?
Slow down. You made a statement. Cut out the questions. I'm asking you to explain yourself. So you said Pan-Africanism is a joke. Okay. And then you said it's failing. All right. So what is your alternative to Pan-Africanism?
Our alternative to Pan-Africanism is so-called pan-globalism.
Interesting. 1 second.
It ain't gotta be limited to just Africa. We need to start focusing on ourselves because you can't come to the table with Africa or let alone the Caribbean or whatnot if you don't have anything going on with yourself, but just being a dusty on the internet talking 10-hour lives and doing nothing all day. You have to bring tangibles. You got to bring resources. You got to bring land.
Yeah, let's go one slice at a time. All right. So the pan-globalism. So let's put Pan-Africanism to the side. No need to talk about that anymore for this moment. And so pan-globalism. So tell me, what is your view of pan-globalism? What is that?
It's nothing like how the elites want to make a one world government or anything like that. It's something with people that are like-minded individuals that want to come together and solve the issues of like our restitution, reparations plight, our politics and stuff like that, and to remove the system of white supremacy with a system of justice and fairness. With this Pan-Africanism, this is nothing but black nationalism.
Don't talk about that. Let's talk about constructive now. We're talking about solution. We're in solution mode, Pan-globalism to counter white supremacy. Interesting. So tell me more about this. This pan-globalist group that will effectively counter white supremacy. How do you organize, or how do you identify the members of this pan-globalist group that's counter white
People
supremacy?
that have the same views, people that are willing to pitch in and put money into the ideology, into the economics, into the infrastructure, people that are able to reciprocate with one another tangibles. And with this Pan-African stuff, you're not getting that. All you're getting is out of Pan-Africanism is talking about what ifs and pie in the sky shit.
Let's put Pan-Africanism to the side. I don't want to hear about it. We're talking about pan-globalism. We're talking about the solution. So I'm exploring the solution with you. So don't tell me anything more about problem. I don't waste time.
So where's your solution?
We are examining your
You had Pan-Africanism for centuries. You had African Pan-Africans who did not follow their own ideology.
Why are you telling me that? Why are you telling me that?
Why are you telling us this shit that we need to move to Africa and that's the only solution?
I'm not talking about that. I am talking about what you raised, the concept of pan-globalism as the answer to the problem.
Yes, because the planet belongs to us, right?
Is that correct? Is that correct?
Does the planet belong to you, yes or no?
Look, you're asking me a question. Can you put a
Does the planet belong to you? Yes or no?
I am not answering questions. I am asking you questions about your solution. So if I'm asking and exploring your solution, I have to ask questions to understand your viewpoint. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Right. So I would like to go step by step. Talk to me as if I'm a 5-year-old. Right. So you talked about pan-globalism as an effective system to counter white supremacy. And then you said about people working together and putting was it practical material resources together?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm getting it, but I'm a bit slow. Right. So how do you identify the pan-globalists so that you can work effectively with them?
Say if you have a business, right? That business wants to do business with another business, right?
Okay.
They have the funds and they have each other's best interests. Why not reciprocate one another? Why just hog all the wealth and the resources to one another and get rid of like so-called competition?
Okay, so 1 second. So do pan-globalists, can you have white pan-globalists?
Absolutely.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So for pan-globalists and pan-globalism to be effective, they all have to be counter-white supremacists. Is that correct?
Yes, there are white people that are counter white supremacy. Did you not know that?
Okay. So that's good. So, how are you going to, like Kit Astro's on here? I think he's a white person as well. I wanted to speak to him about this thing as well. So maybe good for Kit Astro to come into this conversation. So how can you identify the pan-globalists who are white?
Oh, you want to know how? The people that come to you that has the same ideology as you. Who wants to achieve things and replace systematic things with what you want as a policy.
Okay, well, this is getting a bit heavy now. So we got Kit Astro here as well, a white person. Is that correct?
Yeah, resident white person.
Pardon?
Resident white person.
Resident. Okay. Wow, this is going to be interesting. So
is this person from South Africa or something?
Yeah, I'm from South Africa, dude.
Yeah, I can hear your accent.
Anyway,
Okay, so just to clarify for me, please, 'cause I'm still trying to understand this pan-globalism. Kit Astro, I'm a black nationalist. Are you a white nationalist, or do you see any value in the white race?
what do you
Or
mean
the
by
conservation?
nationalist? Are you talking about
Nation-
like what the Nazis did? Or like
Yeah,
Uber
that's
nation?
nationalism.
Yeah,
Hold
I'm
it,
not
hold it.
that.
Before
And
we
what
go
the
there,
I don't think it's sustainable.
hold
nativist
it.
Americans within the Native American Know Nothing Party within the northern states of the United States trying to claim that only white born American born citizens are and can only be Americans and everybody else are lesser or second class.
Yeah. Okay, just give me a moment before we go back onto pan-globalism, because I think that's a topic, and it sounds really interesting. I just want to understand Kit Astro's position. So, do you any see any value in whiteness? I'm just trying to understand your position before we continue with the conversation.
Whiteness, I don't know. I don't think that race is a sustainable discriminator. It's
It's
like
not
only a way
sustainable.
to control the population. It's not really a way to create to run a sustainable country, or like, well, it can work for a time, but like it won't work forever.
Okay, for
It's
a time, but
easy. It's easy to
went
run a
for a while.
country if you have like a bad guy to blame for everything bad that's happening.
Okay, all right, and that's the only
So
way
are
that.
you familiar with the phrase all skin folk ain't kinfolk?
What?
Are you familiar with the phrase all skin folk ain't kinfolk? I'm sending this towards the black nationalists here in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah,
basically you mean like
yeah.
just because my skin's the same color as yours doesn't mean I have the same
No,
ideology.
not just that, but politics wise or economics or any other arenas of activity that the society runs.
Yeah. See
But
what
it's
you've done.
you do
You've
realize in Africa it's a bit different. Like it's
unbelievable.
tribal politics is a very big factor in
Yeah.
like
Okay, before we go
even
into
if you
history,
have democracy.
yeah. First of all, we're discussing pan-globalism. You've come onto the
Yeah,
panel as a white person. I'd just like to try and
as
understand
a
your
resident
position
white
before
person.
we go back into discussing pan-globalism, because we have a pan-globalism expert here. So I'd like to
Yeah.
talk to him, and we can both talk to him and question and find out his position. But I'd just like to understand your position. So,
Well, if my view is if I don't have a dictatorship with me in charge of the whole world, then I would settle for a socialist utopia. Yeah.
so do you agree with the idea of pan-globalism? Does it sound good to you?
Yeah. It sounds like it sounds wonderful, but I'm not sure about the practicality. But if there was a practical way to achieve it, obviously everyone would be on board with that. It's like the
Okay,
same thing with anything that sounds good.
So what's
right.
Like,
Okay.
practical about Pan Africanism and Black
Oh,
nationalism?
here we go. We're going back.
What is
Why are you
practical
talking about
about that?
pan-Africanism
Because
again?
we've
Why are
okay,
you
seen
going
for
there?
centuries, we've
It
seen
won't
for
okay, but
waste
centuries what
time.
this is
Do
not.
not
and the
waste
outcome
time.
of
Let's
that.
talk about pan-globalism. Don't talk about pan-Africanism on
Why
this
can't I?
panel.
Why can't I? Why can't I?
Okay, can we?
Because we're trying to
Can I?
Because
progress
we've been
to a
asking, we've been
conclusion.
waiting
We
for
are
results
Can I?
from Pan Africanism and nothing has shown.
this guy.
Can I just tell my view on why you are like trying to throw everything on Pan Africanism? Pan Africanism is so bad and all that stuff, eh? I'm thinking you are
Is it
like
not the same thing as white supremacy? We're claiming
no,
white ethno
no,
states on other people's lands.
no.
How isn't it not? How is it
It's like
no?
basically okay. Well, my view, I don't really know anything actually. I'm just like, oh, I had this idea. Oh, this word sounds the same to my idea that I had. I never actually researched it, but like this is how I think it works. It's like a freaking European Union for Africa. It's like that's all. That's my opinion. Now
So
the
there's not does the same groups like white nationalists and black nationalists, do they not have the same argument, but it's a mad lib? Like one saying the other is superior, the other one is inferior.
Why are we
I
talking
don't think
about
a
that?
white nationalist has a opinion about like inferiority or like
Astro, could you help me,
yeah.
please, to keep the conversation from flying all over the place? We
Okay.
are trying to have a conversation about pan globalism as a solution to white supremacy. So I'm trying to speak to the pan globalist expert. I'd like you to join me in asking
Technically,
him
we
some
already
questions.
have like the way he's describing it with businesses working together for the greater good or stuff like that. We already have that.
So
Is that correct?
are these organizations working together for the greater evil?
No, they're working together for the greater good, but they get to decide
How is
what is
white
the greater good.
nationalism and black nationalism working for the greater good?
Because there is no race, there is only cash.
If there isn't no raise and only cash, explain
Yeah,
this.
because the poor people are stupid and need to be led, and all the rich guys, they are so smart and they know what's better for us. So they if they make more money, it's for the greater good.
So
That's
it's
it.
about cash is influencing racism, right?
Yeah, basically, people are racist because they. Well, I'm hoping people are racist because they are uneducated or they are misled that way.
But I'm educated. I know a whole lot of things about racism, white supremacy, and Pan
So are you
Africanism
racist?
and
Are you racist?
Afrocentricity. And I found out and I came to the solution that both ideologies are clown shows.
Afrocentricity, but that's not
Yes,
Pan Africanism.
Eurocentricity and Afrocentricity is a clown show.
Yeah, well, that's not the same as Pan Africanism.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It is. Pan
Wow.
Africanism promotes Afrocentricity.
How?
It promotes Black Egypt. It promotes the transatlantic slave trade. It promotes melanin science. It promotes a lot of things. Did you
No,
not
it
know that?
doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Let
It
me put it
promotes
this
that
way.
all blacks should go to a black ethno state designed by white supremacy and immigrate to a random spot in Africa of their self-proclaimed choosing.
Okay. Let's put my viewpoint on what I thought everyone was talking about. Maybe I'm so stupid. Anyway, so I was thinking if they were talking about like all black guys should get into Africa, it would be Afrocentrism. Yeah. And like my viewpoint was that Pan Africanism was everyone in Africa should defend themselves against white supremacy or whatever you want to call it, Western civilization, Western economic powers. Yeah.
Yeah, does Africa defend its so-called Black American diaspora from white supremacy, or do they only
How
protect
the hell are they
themselves?
supposed to do that? How the hell are they supposed to do that? They can't even defend themselves.
Exactly. Why
What,
can't they
like
defend
you are
Black
expecting a bit
Americans?
more. The only thing they have as an advantage is their location. So what are you expecting? What like literally, what are you expecting?
Are they not supposed to have weapons manufacturers? Are they not
No, they
supposed to
don't.
have the economics? Are they
Why do
not
you think
supposed to
people? Why do you
speak
think
up and
America is
run
exporting
communist
weapons to
China and
Africa?
Russia out of their land? Are they not?
What?
Don't they have the ability to open their mouths and decide on the politics of Africa, telling the
No.
West about no, we don't want gay shit in our country, right? We
One
don't
second.
want the
What is your name?
Boreas
What
in
can I
our
call you?
country, right?
One second. One second. What can I call you? What's your handle for this discussion? I'm IC3. That's Astro. What are you?
Oh, my name's Ty. Everybody know who I am.
I don't know
No,
who
I
you
don't
are.
know.
What? Tyre?
You
Tyre?
talk. You had a conversation with me before.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, you
answer.
but like your
You
microphone
were
is stiffy, eh?
against
I don't
my
care.
American Indian ideology,
Yeah. Okay. Your name is what for this conversation?
Tyron.
Tyron. All right. So Tyron. Tyron. Good. All right, Tyron. So when you ask a question, please ask one question or two, and then be quiet and allow somebody to answer. Don't keep firing 5 or 6 questions. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it. But when you ask the question, enjoy the space in between. Don't be afraid of silence. Allow the mind to work.
We can ask a question.
Yeah.
Or should I be quiet?
No, ask a question. There's no rush.
Am I asking a question about pan-globalism?
Yes, because that is a topic. Pan-globalism.
Okay.
How can it work?
Isn't pan-globalism basically just a global communism? That's how it feels.
Feels that way to me, but let's speak.
Is it Pan-Africanism communism?
Oh, for Christ's sake! Why are you talking about Pan-Africanism? We're trying to explore.
Okay. Maybe I should just ask.
They're not promoting Chairman Mao shit.
Maybe I should just ask the main question. Why are you like deflecting towards Pan-Africanism if we are asking about pan-globalism?
Good question.
Like you say, this thing is not X, but we are talking about Y. We are not talking about X.
Yes. Did you get that, Tyrone? Did that make sense to you?
Maybe my ideology is socialism. Did you not know that?
Did you hear what I don't think you heard what you said, Kit Astro. Say it again. I think you missed what you said, Tyrone. Say that again, Kit Sarah. I think you missed
Okay,
it.
You said it's communism. Okay, how is it communism?
Isn't that basically the final form of communism as according to Marx or something?
Karl Marx? I don't follow his ideology, so what are you talking about?
Have you even read it?
Absolutely not, because I don't follow communist ideology.
No, I'm not. You don't have to follow it to have read it. Like you don't even have to believe in evolution to have read freaking Darwin. So
I believe what I believe in is making a system of justice and fairness. That's what I believe.
Like the way you
I don't
describe
believe in
businesses working
communism.
together for the greater good, that's called the triad, and that's not allowed because that's anti-competition. And capitalism is based on competition, and if you don't have competition, then everyone's mad at you.
Well, we're in the system of capitalism, and we have to play the game regardless. But at the end goal is removing that power and replacing it with a system of justice and fairness.
Yeah, I was thinking about that before. Like maybe we could out capitalism, just basically buy communism.
Okay, can I address this point in terms of pan-globalism? I like to stick to the topic because we're trying to explore what pan-globalism is and how it could work, and you're saying a system of justice. So, Tyrone, would you agree with me that a system of justice would require everybody within that system to agree on what is just and what is fair?
For one, my God, we do not own the planet. We belong to the planet. Why limit yourself to borders when the entire world is you?
Why are you giving me information I never asked for? I'm speaking slowly so I can understand.
So, my God, your solution is to move all niggas to Africa as a black ethno state away from white supremacy. Yet Kid Astro is a white man that lives in Africa. His people been there for hundreds of years.
Why are you giving me information I never asked for?
So how can you turn Africa into a black ethno state if a white man is telling you what's yours in the continent Africa? They assign you to sub-Saharan Africa.
To be fair, I don't think
the Africans come up with sub-Saharan Africa and these racial taxonomies of Bantu, Nilot, Hamite, Capoid, Hottentot. Or was it?
Having a conversation. I don't think this.
I see three. I see three.
Tunisia, I can't speak to this person. I can't have a conversation.
Yeah. Because your ideology is a clown show, bro.
Can I speak to Kit Astro, please? I think you'll be more constructive.
I've restarted. Wait, 1 second. 1 second, I speak black. I've restarted another stream. Click the link. It's in the private chat in the back. So if you guys want to come in, I'm ending the show now. I've started a new stream. So shout out to you guys.
It has been nuked. It has been nuked.